Forget everything you know about Philly cheesesteak. This is the upgrade you didn't even know you needed. Juicy steak, caramelized onions, and a creamy cheese sauce. This is next level indulgence. And the best part? It takes just 15 minutes to make. So, without any further ado, let's get into this. Let's kick things off with the little upgrade that makes this cheesesteak. Our cheddar-provolone homemade cheese whiz. Yeah, look, you could use store-bought cheese sauce, but let's be real, that stuff won't even come close to this thick, creamy, and stretchy sauce. We'll be using 2 cheeses, provolone, which is a staple in Philly cheesesteaks, as well as cheddar for a bit more kick. You'll need 3/4 cup or 85 grams of each. So grate your cheddar and cut up your provolone. When cutting your provolone though, make sure to cut them into nice small pieces so that they melt quickly. Pieces like this work perfectly. Then throw those in a bowl and mix in 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of cornstarch and get everyone nice and coated. Once everyone in that bowl has gotten to know each other, it's time to transfer everything over to a pan. So set a pan over low heat, and to that pan, add 1/2 cup or 120 grams of evaporated milk. Once hot, but not boiling, go ahead and add in your cheese. Then just continuously mix until nice and melted. Then sprinkle in some salt and pepper to taste, and let sit on very low heat just to keep it warm. And that's it. It only added a few minutes, and that ooey gooiness will make you rethink your entire life, start a cheese worshipping cult, and legally petition to rename your hometown Meltropolis. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, sirloin. But in classic lazy foodie fashion, I went to my butcher and asked for them to slice it for me, saving me the pain of having to do it myself. But if you can't be bothered with that, feel free to check if your grocery store sells any pre-sliced beef. But before we get to prepping the meat, let's quickly cut up an onion. All you gotta do is top and tail an onion and cut it down lengthwise. And in the spirit of making this quickly, we'll be cutting up our onion into smaller pieces, as that'll help with them cooking faster. Just a rough chop is all you need. To cook these bad boys, we'll be using a cast iron griddle. This is the best way by far to go about making this, and I'll leave a link in the description for anyone who wants to snag one up. This sits right on your stovetop, and we can set one zone to medium high and another on low. Don't worry if you can't be bothered though, you can use a pan, preferably cast iron, but be warned, it won't be quite the same and I will judge you just a little bit. Alright, now another secret lazy upgrade is to use beef fat. Most butchers sell this stuff and it's an effortless hack that really elevates the flavor. So throw on some beef fat or a neutral tasting oil if that's all you have over your griddle, and once melted, add your chopped onions. Hit them right away with some salt, and feel free to also add a pinch of sugar to help speed up the process even more. We'll be cooking these bad boys for about 8 minutes. And once they've softened up and gotten a beautiful color, you can move them over to the side set to low to continue cooking while we prep our beef. So just go ahead and stack on layers of that beautiful beef and cut so that you have relatively small pieces. Why? Well, you ever bite into a sandwich and pull out half the filling in one go? Yeah, we're not doing that today. Cutting the beef into smaller, more manageable pieces means every bite is the perfect bite, not a battle with a long, chewy slab of meat. And optionally, you can then do what I did, which is to lay out those layers of beef onto some parchment paper and season with some salt so that you can easily just pick up the whole thing and dump it on the flat top. This also increases the surface area on the flat top, meaning you get even more of that beautiful caramelized beef. Alright, at this point, my camera unfortunately died and didn't save the footage, but luckily it's super simple, so here's what you missed. I added a bit more beef fat to the hot side of the griddle, threw on the sliced steak, and hit it with some salt. Let that cook for about a minute or two until it started getting some nice crispy edges, then gave it a flip, seasoned it once again with some more salt and pepper, and let it go for another minute. Then I mixed in the caramelized onions, and for the final boss move, I hit it with some of that cheese sauce directly into the steak. This is what separates the pros from the amateurs. Everything melts together, like a perfect group hug, but, you know, with beef and cheese instead of people. Then just scoop up all that delicious goodness right onto your bread. I decided to use a baguette for this recipe, but traditionally it's made using hoagies. If that's your preference, go right ahead. And top off with a bit more of that cheese sauce to finish it off. And there you go, guys. You have an incredible Philly cheesesteak. So let's see how it tastes. All right, guys, moment of truth. Cheers. Holy f***. This is insane. You get that rich, beefy flavor, the sweetness from the caramelized onions, and then boom, the cheese sauce that ties it all together. This might actually be the best cheesesteak I've ever had. And I can't believe it only took like 10 to 15 minutes to make. Seriously, if you guys are ever craving a next level lazy cheesesteak, this is the one. I mean, forget lazy, this is just the best cheesesteak I've ever had, and it just took 15 minutes. All right, guys, if you like this recipe, go ahead and give the video a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And as always, I will see you all next week. Peace!